Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG Other Shit Monday Side Pig TADPig podcast. A semi-weekly show where two old guys talk about old games.
Hey, I actually heard something about semi-weekly and bi-weekly the other day because I got a text message from another listener saying that Wiley was wrong and that it's semi-weekly. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I got to get to the bottom of this shit. So I went online and actually what I did was I searched Reddit because I knew Reddit would have the answer and sent me to a link for, have you ever heard of Grammar Girl?
Nope. And
she does like a grammar-related podcast. So I was like, okay, fellow podcasters, she'll know the answer. She did not know the answer. She said that like there are definitions for both that go either way. So essentially, her recommendation was never use the term bi-weekly or semi-weekly because no matter which one you use, someone is going to take it the wrong. That's the wrong way. So there we go. We
got a twice-a-week podcast,
right?
Where two old guys talk about old games. I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and in lieu of what we're going to talk about today, I have a related story about one of the weirdest boners I've ever had.
Zombie boner.
Yes. A very weird zombie boner.
Tell me about zombie boner.
Well, I'm not big into horror movies, I guess because I don't startle or get shaken up.
Rookie mistake here. Sorry to interrupt you, but you never want to start a boner story with, I'm not very big.
Womp womp. I'm just a pitifully small fan of horror.
No, I have a small boner story. It's
a very minuscule story. Other men have bigger stories about horror. Mine is so-so.
My wife says my boner story is just the right length.
for her, she would want a different side story. But I'm not very into horror, I guess, because it doesn't. There are a few things that like make me scared, so it doesn't. Watching a scary movie usually doesn't affect me. Zombies, on the other hand, will get to me. I do.
Really?
I do have a reaction to zombie movies. The last time I remember being genuinely shaken up by a movie, because I don't watch a lot of movies anyway.
Right.
But the last time I remember watching one, living with my parents, my room was in the basement. I had almost basically a 1-floor apartment to myself in our basement. It had everything.
So you had the sweet ass living situation
for a year.
High schooler. Oh, only for a year?
Yeah, but I remember Dreamcast was popular, and I had just gotten the Sega Smash Pack and was playing the original Shining Force, which I'd never played before. So I've got it on one TV to my side, and then I'm just scrolling through, and Night of the Living Dead 3 comes on. And I said, well, what the hell? I'll watch this while I play Shining Force. And it slowly, because it's about the zombies have come and they've taken them, but they keep them in these barrels and they're studying them and they have them locked away in a government facility.
So it's like Day of the Dead.
Okay, there's a lot of those I'm unfamiliar with.
Okay. Because there's like Return of the Living Dead, I think, which is more like more hokey. Do you recall if it was?
This got hokey eventually.
Yeah. How does it end? Do you recall it? Does it involve a zombie using a gun?
Oh, I remember Bob the Zombie that can use a gun. I've seen that one. Like he was a soldier and the guy teaches him. I've seen that too.
Okay,
it's not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is about, it's a guy, his father is like a general or something in the army and he has access to this room where they're studying the zombies. And he and his rebel girlfriend, like his dad hates her. She's just like this wild child and he's in love with her. Mm-hmm. And she wants to go check out the facility. So he steals his dad's key card and they go in and she gets like exposed to the chemical in some way and it starts to make her sick. And when they're driving out, he wrecks his motorcycle and she breaks her neck and is killed. Then suddenly reanimates. Mm-hmm. But she still has like enough of her memory. So she's slowly like transforming into a zombie, but still has her mental faculties.
She doesn't want to eat his brain.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But you see, they also, because that happens, other zombies get out. And she basically becomes, it's scary at first, but then she just becomes like super sexy warrior zombie girl, and then it gets hokey, and she's
Then
like,
it just becomes sexy.
she unites the zombies. I remember being like scared, but then it gets strangely sexual. So it's just a weird, like, my boner was very confused. It was like had that feeling in its chest of uncertainty and horror, but also, I mean, it was standing. It was there. It was paying attention.
I don't think I've ever. Well, I guess the only time I've been aroused during a zombie movie is the Dawn of the Dead remake, where there's like a 3-second sex scene in that, where it's like, it's when the cover for Down with the Sickness is playing.
Okay.
And there's like a 3-second, like, really softcore doggy style scene in there.
Okay. All right.
So that'll be my intro. I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and random softcore doggy style.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, today, since it's Other Shit Monday, it's not related to IGN's Top 100 Super Nintendo games. Just any other shit. Any other shit we want to talk about.
Other shit.
We have had
Today we're talking about mops.
we do a mop special.
Mops versus squeegees. Go.
Chrono's weakest weapon, mop. This is our most requested special episode. Several, also called many in the Tadpog Nation, have requested us to do The Walking Dead.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that we're going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize. I'm sorry. We've had so many people ask us to do it that I don't want to do it, because I know that we have listeners out there who've played this game multiple times
And love it.
And I played it once a year ago, and I really liked it. I would go so far as to say I loved it, but I'm going to get things wrong in this episode, so please forgive me.
I played it more recently than that, but again, only once as well. So
this game has zombies in it.
I think so.
All right.
I remember it had a lot of little girls.
And there's a little girl, yeah.
Little girl with oranges. No, her name's Clementine. Fuck. This is going to be awful.
I thought it was Dora the Explorer. Damn it. I played the wrong game.
All right, so The Walking, before we get started, do you hear anything?
I hear a long ass train.
Yep.
A really long train.
Yeah, a 45-minute train.
Like I hear a train that may never stop. I hope this is what everyone expected from our Walking Dead episode.
There we go. You said longest train ever. There you
That's
go.
pretty long. My favorite part is when you inhaled, you blinked so deeply that it was like you were breathing through your eyes. All right, guys. The Walking Dead, also known as Nana. we have the owner of Nana's Dogs here with us tonight to talk about sexy zombie warriors. The Walking Dead, also known as The Walking Dead: The Game, and The Walking Dead: Season 1, is an episodic graphic adventure based on Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead comic book series. The game, Tyler, was developed by Telltale Games. I don't know if you may have heard of them or not.
Back to the Future. Yeah.
Right. And was initially slated for release in the last months of 2011, but was held back until early 2012. That doesn't really seem relevant. The game consists of 5 episodes released between April and November 2012. Telltale has also published retail versions of the complete game, so you can go to the store if you wanted to, Tyler, and get this on a disc.
Probably pay way too much for it in the process.
Well, far too much money.
Yep.
I don't know how much it is.
Like
but
I've saw on Reddit, because you can get Angry Birds for free on iOS, and like the Xbox Star Wars was $60.
yeah, well, you know. If you need your Star Wars Angry Birds fix, Tyler.
And you have to have it on your Xbox.
I think this is actually interesting. Currently, the game is available for this. We're talking about The Walking Dead here, not Angry Birds Star Wars. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Microsoft Windows, iOS. I didn't know there was an iOS version of the game. OS X, which is Mac, of course, and PlayStation Vita. And hold on, I know you're gonna like this. They're planning a version for the Ouya.
Yeah.
So there'll be more than one game that's good on the Ouya that you
Because
can play.
supposedly there's only one right now,
Right.
being Towerfall, which is getting released on everything else shortly.
Yes.
So,
I can't wait for that to come out because I would never buy an Ouya.
a friend of mine turned his Ouya into a very neat emulator with all the other, emulation controls. So he has NES, Super Nintendo, and he has it all in his little portable box.
That's cool. I've been thinking about doing that with a Raspberry Pi, which is like $50.
So my brother's using Raspberry Pi to build his Epic emulator inside an Xbox. So he's working on that project right now.
That he's going to give to the show. When he's done.
Yep. Provided we buy original copies of all the games that are inside the emulator.
Well, yeah, we already
keep
have
it.
those.
Yeah.
We've been over this before.
Sure.
I mean, we keep it completely on the legal on
Right,
TADPOG.
keep it at 100. Yeah.
The game, this train's not over. It's not over. The game takes place in the same fictional world as the comic, with events occurring shortly after the onset of the zombie apocalypse in Georgia, which I like to think is a completely separate zombie apocalypse from the rest of the world. However, most of the characters in the game are original to the game. A lot of them don't exist outside of the game. There are a few exceptions. Like I know you meet Herschel in one of the episodes, I think the first one. Herschel makes an appearance. Sean and Glenn all make appearances in the game. But other than that, everyone in the game is original.
See, because I've only seen season 1 of the actual show.
Okay.
So I'm way behind on the television series. It's one of those shows like Meg has to not be in the room for me to watch it.
Because that horse died?
Yep.
Yeah.
I tried to get her to watch the first episode. She's fine with human slaughter.
Yeah.
She'll watch that all day
who
long.
isn't?
Yeah. But whenever the horse died, she checked out and refuses to ever watch it again.
Yeah. Well, maybe the horse.
So I'm not sure she ever finished the Neverending Story whenever Atreyu's horse falls in the quicksand. That also she was done.
What was Atreyu's horse name?
Don't know.
I can never
You got
remember
me.
this. I can never.
I remember him screaming, whatever that was.
All right. Well, talk about something. I'm going to look up what his horse's name was, so we don't get a call next week. You idiots! Clearly, Atreyu's horse was named
Nitroglycerin.
Nitroglycerin.
Well, this was the second game I've played episodically. The first one being on my Wii.
Artax.
Artax.
Sorry. We may continue the show.
I thought you were
now.
going somewhere else. It's like Artax. Artax what?
Our tax return came in. We have to stop the show. We owe the government a lot.
But the other being Final Fantasy: The After Years, which is an episodic release to Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 4.
Sounds like a very Saved by the Bell thing to do.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it at first, but it didn't. The more episodes that came out, it did not stand up very well because it was in Japan released on mobile game. It was for mobile users, and then they brought it stateside through the Wii Virtual Console, and
It's not good. I never played it.
I mean, if you love Final Fantasy IV, it's nice to see the story continue and go a slightly different direction. But
Did they wrap in a dating sim with it?
I wish. I would love that with Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
I do think
Artax.
I've played a few Telltale games. This is above and beyond my favorite Telltale game.
Yeah.
I feel like it has the right amount of polish to it. Looking at it, they've done it in a timeless. I feel like it's a timeless style.
Yeah, the art style is something I really like because since it's based on the comic and not the television show, they have taken a lot of Tony Moore, taken a lot of his art style from the first issues of the comic that he did and made it pretty much look just like that in the game. It's really super impressive.
Because you can see similarities in the art style between Walking Dead and Back to the Future. But Back to the Future just does not look as good.
How is it?
It's
how's it
not
different?
shaded nearly as well. Marty looks like his face is sucked into the middle, like around his nose. Like the art, it's just not as... the environment's also not as full whenever you're walking around as Marty. You can just see what few buildings and what few areas you can go to. It's just the amount of polish and work that they put into Walking Dead dwarfs Back to the Future. And I have not played the one where you're the big bad wolf yet. I hope to get to that.
Yeah, the one that based on fables. What is it called? The Wolf Within or something like that?
Something like that.
The
I don't
Wolf
know.
Within.
We're just going to fuck up on this. I'm trying to remember. Tyler and Dave just forget about everything.
Forget everything. Hey, we looked up Artax. I can look up this game too if you want to talk. The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah,
I think
there
it's
you go. I believe that's it too. But this game, okay, I'll get it out of the way. I really enjoyed this game. I really did.
Spoilers.
But I guess I sort of have issue, and I can't get too upset about it because I feel like that's just where technology is right now. But all these games where you make all these decisions that supposedly you make your own path, they're all really just illusion of choice games because
they don't matter.
None of it really
They
matters.
don't matter. You get to the end and it's the same pretty much, except for the details.
Yeah, I guess the biggest one being like Mass Effect that was the big fuck you for illusion of choice.
Yeah, which really makes me want to play the Stanley Parable because that's supposedly that's what that game is all about is the illusion of choice.
Because it's an hour and a half long, but there are so many different choices and endings and things like that it really they tried to break through that barrier. So
yeah, and it's also I've been hearing everyone say it's a commentary on games like The Walking Dead and Mass Effect, where it shatters the illusion of choice, where the whole game itself it shows you that it doesn't really matter what you choose. Yeah. From what I've heard, I haven't played it. It's on my wish list. I may buy it soon.
I plan on whenever the next Christmas sale, I plan on getting it then.
Which hopefully will be in the next few days.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm asking for all these Steam gift cards, and I'm not going to use for a long time if they don't have one for Christmas. But I guess that's probably why we love role-playing games so much, because then your choices very much branch off.
You mean tabletop.
Tabletop,
right?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because that's so improv, and off the cuff that literally anything is possible. Because nothing's programmed, It's not static, where it's like you have static choices that you already have. You choose option A. Well, okay, if you choose option A, then it goes to its next predestined step. With tabletop games, you don't have an option A and option B. You've got just whatever you can think of.
Yeah, so we encourage all TADPOG listeners to, if you don't like people, don't do tabletop role-playing games. But if you like to hang out with people sometimes, it's a good way to spend your time. Yeah,
and playing tabletop role-playing games is like a pretty minimal social experience. I mean, let's look at some Dragon Con tables we've been to. I mean, you can get through a game with pretty much just sitting there and playing the game.
Yeah, that's true. And that's surely what I do for 60 hours of what we do at Dragon Con. But all right, The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. The game.
There will be lots of spoilers in this episode.
There be spoilers.
I feel like we should really state, if you have not played the game, it's been out for a while. It's very cheap. You can get it, on all those different platforms. Stop this episode, go out and play it, come back to us later, because we are going to break down all our choices and spoil the shit out of the game.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it to play. It's really, if you haven't played the game, please stop listening to the episode, because it's worth playing. Yeah.
Or if you just don't care about the game, I guess keep listening. But you might not be that into it if you really don't care.
No, they have to stop, Tyler.
This is only for platinum Walking Dead completionists.
Right. If you haven't finished the game and you're still listening, please know that you're unauthorized. And the TADPOG City Guard will be coming to your car or place of residence. So let's shatter it. Let's spoil the shit out of it.
All right. So it's
spoiler number 1. There are zombies.
There are zombies. This is an outbreak of zombies. That you play as Lee.
Yes.
Who Lee is? He is a convicted murderer.
Right.
He did in fact kill his wife's. What would you? Because I know you call it mistress if it's a female.
Lover. Let's just say lover.
Lover kills his wife's lover, and then is convicted and is on his way to prison.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah,
it starts with you as Lee in the back seat of a cop car, and you're going to prison,
making casual banter with. You can either be an asshole or you can act like you're regretful of your actions or things like that. Talking to the cop, making casual conversation with him before the cop hits a zombie, wrecks. Cop dies in the accident, and you're left crawling out of the car.
Yep. I really wish that. See, here we go again in illusion of choice, because playing through that game, I played through the first episode a second time just last night, And of course, you know it's coming up where the cop is driving. You know he's about to hit a zombie. So I was ready to hit the button like immediately, like as soon as you can, hoping that, well, if I tell him real quick, maybe he'll miss this zombie and the story will just go.
And you just go to prison.
Just go to prison. The rest of the game is just actually more horrifying than if you.
Then you just watch Oz in real time.
I hear they took that out of the game because HBO was threatening to sue.
But Lee has his accident, and you're crawling out of the car, slightly injured. The cop is dead, and you spot that. I don't know if it's that same zombie that you hit, but the zombie is injured and coming at you.
It's the cop.
Oh, it is the cop?
Yeah, he turns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he turns. You have to get a shotgun from the that's laying next to the car and kill him. And then you see. For the
I died a
first
few times on that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I have a question. Did you play this with a keyboard, mouse and keyboard, or did you play it with a controller?
I tried my damnedest to play it with a controller.
Yeah?
But I could not get it to work properly.
Really?
So I had to go keyboard.
Like, do you think it was a problem with the game, or do you think it was just a problem with the way the controller was set up, or?
Whenever I just tried playing it with the controller, this was before like Big Picture and things
Okay.
like that made it more compatible. And I didn't know about any of the programs to really map it out properly. So what I was trying just never really worked. Because Jacob wanted me to buy this. So when I bought this, we played through the first chapter together. And he and I would discuss the choices before we made them. And then that's how we played through the first chapter.
How did you do it because a lot of the choices are timed, depending on how, I wouldn't say important, but how some decisions are immediate.
Whoever yelled louder.
Okay.
That's pretty much how it happened.
Fair enough. I played it with a mouse and keyboard the first time, and I just wanted to try the other night to play with a controller. Check it out, because I used Big Picture on Steam, and I thought it worked really, really well.
Oh, okay.
I was really impressed with it.
Good. Because I would much prefer to be able to set and with the controller in my hand than
It's nice.
Jacob and I trying to play together, and with me having to be the mouse and keyboard off to the side didn't work as well if you're trying to play Walking Dead co-op.
Right.
Question mark. So
Sorry, I derailed us a little
Yeah.
bit. You kill the zombie cop, and you see a little girl in the distance.
yeah, you just her shadow, and she runs over the hill, and then you chase after her, and you're
Because you're a murderer.
you just want to just need to murder that girl. That
Yeah.
girl saw you murder that cop. Now she's got to die.
And you murdered your wife's lover, so you're just... I wish you could play the game that way.
It's really more of like just Dexter the game, You're just going through, just
Well, I wish you
murdering
could play it
people.
where it's like, at the end of the game, they assign you an alignment. They're like, based on your playthrough, you are chaotic evil. Because you rallied the zombie horde to fight for your cause and murdered every little girl you saw.
But when you come out, when you go over the hill where your wreck is, you are in the backyard of your typical,
American suburbia
yeah,
household.
it's small white picket fence that Lee walks through, and then toys in the backyard and things like that. And then there's a tree house
Yes.
in one of the trees. And I don't think you walk up and yell into the tree house, but nothing happens.
Now you go inside the house. I assume because you're a convict. You're looking for someone to murder.
Yeah.
So you just go in the house.
That's the place where do people like to go? Houses. Go in
Houses.
there. I'm probably in there.
Where do people congregate? House. Tree house? No. House. You go in there and you find a zombie in there. But you also find a walkie-talkie, and the zombie. You start talking to a little girl on the walkie-talkie, and you could probably put it together, Tyler. It's the little girl you saw on the horizon.
She is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. She is trapped inside the walkie-talkie, and you use it as a magical device to scare all the medieval Asian samurai around you.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the game plays
That's
out.
Walking Dead, season 1.
That's a show, everybody. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher. So she starts talking to you. A zombie attacks, and then she helps you by showing up at the door with a hammer that you use to gruesomely disable. Is that what? Because you don't really kill a zombie, right?
Yeah, well,
Disable a zombie. You re-kill it.
re-kill.
Yeah, it's twice killed.
It meets the true death. There you go.
Which I really like that this game is tastefully done, but it's also manages to be gory at the same time. Because I don't know, do you remember this scene? She gives you the hammer and you just hit the button to kill the zombie. And it's been coming at you for a very long time and you've had no weapon. So it's just like every time you hit it, its face distorts. So I guess you can keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it until its face just looks like a jumbled mess of eyeballs and skin. It's nice. It's nice, Tyler, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I think everybody would be like, that does sound nice.
If you are looking for a murder simulation game, then The Walking Dead is by far the best choice.
But you make friends with a little girl whose parents went out of town.
They're fucking dead.
We don't know.
They don't say that.
We don't know.
They don't say that.
They went out
They're
of
fucking
town.
dead. If they show up alive in season 2, I'm out. I think I'm out. I don't think I can forgive the series if her parents are alive.
No, I agree. Especially with what happens in the last chapter, that it would be a real bullshit.
Right.
But yeah, her parents went on vacation, left her with a friend, and the friend was zombified and died, and Clementine has been living on her own in the treehouse.
That's the little girl.
Clementine.
Clementine.
Yes, Clementine.
Oh, my darling.
It's pretty good. And Lee takes her in and is going to help her find her parents. Because, I mean, what were Lee's plans? Go to jail? That's off. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to do the right and lawful thing, he would just go to jail.
Turn himself in,
Right.
yeah.
But clearly,
Lee's just chaotic. Just the wild card.
clearly something is wrong with this man. And that's about as far as I got through on my second playthrough. So from here on out, it's fuzzy for me.
Okay.
So now it's your show completely. And I'll just nod and say, uh-huh.
Well, after you agree to help Clementine, and whenever you leave her house, you have the option to travel during the day or travel at night.
I chose day.
Yes, so did I.
Because it really didn't seem like a choice
It's
to
like,
me.
this seems stupid.
And it's like the way they pose the question is funny too, because it's like, should we travel to the safety of day or risk it at night? I'm going to go ahead and go day, considering that I just re-murdered a babysitter with a hammer.
Because if it was like one of those choose your own adventure books, that would be you flip to the next page and it's like 3 lines about you dying.
You are
and then
dead.
You go back. Yeah.
You have been eaten by a grue.
But apparently you meet the 2 individuals you meet during the day. You only meet one of them at night who has a new friend, and the other guy is now a zombie. So supposedly, illusion of choice, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But you meet 2 young men.
It does matter, but only in a superficial.
Basically just who's in what placeholder throughout the course of the game.
Right.
So.
Which really sucks that we know about the illusion of choice, because when I played this game the first time, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that that only the details are determined by your choices, not the whole overarching story. And because I didn't know that, I really, really enjoyed it. And I felt like I was legitimately making change in the game. So it kind of sucks going back a second time and realizing that we're really just changing details.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I guess there was one time, I'll get to it eventually, but when I was totally broken by the illusion of choice, because it was something completely different than what I'd been trying to do during the last 2 chapters, and I just couldn't. But you go with those 2 guys to a farm they know about, and that's where you meet Herschel.
Right.
You can tell them, you have the opportunity, you can lie to them about who you are and who Clementine is.
I never lied. That was my first playthrough. That was my thing, was that I was never going to lie. And I remember that because they set you up with a really tough question in the beginning when you talk to Clementine, because I think she asks about her parents or something. She asks, like, are they coming back? And that's when I was like, man, that's a tough, you have to choose whether you tell her yes or no. And I remember that's when I decided I'm never gonna lie, especially to Clementine. So I told her, no, I don't think they're coming back. And then that kind of directed my whole path throughout all the episodes.
They do a very good job of the facial reactions in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because whenever Clementine is sad or disappointed, it tugs at you.
Yeah. And I know I'm kind of veering from the narrative here, but that's one of the things that I really, really like about this game is that I'm not a dad. I don't have a kid. But this game made me feel like I did. Do you know what I mean? Because they did a really good job emotionally connecting me to Clementine. Like I, as the player, it was my goal 100% beyond the game to make sure that nothing bad happened to Clementine. And that's really rare for me because usually when I play a game, I'm pretty analytical about things where it's like, okay, well, this is a game. So I'm going to do this and this and this because that's the best way to do it. That's, that'll get me the highest score or that'll get me furthest in the game without losing lives. This game is entirely different where it actually legitimately connected on an emotional level.
I'd be interested to see if making Clementine was a girl was if they had thought about, do we want him to save a boy or a girl?
Oh, I'm sure.
So I could see a girl being like any guy that's playing is probably going to want to help out the little girl. They're not.
Well, I would think a woman's probably likely to help a little girl
same thing.
too.
I don't think gender lines would necessarily define that. But then there's also from the player.
Yeah.
But then when you meet another person similar to Clementine, a little boy, you just want that fucker to die. You get sick of his shit real quick.
Yeah, because he gives you shit. I mean, but yeah, I think the fact that they chose a girl for you to guard, I think that was definitely planned.
Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely designed that way. And it worked, I think, because like I said, I completely bought into that, into protecting Clementine.
Because you have the option to lie to Clementine, to lie to the two guys helping you, and when they get you to the farm, Herschel questions you, and then Herschel also pulls you into the barn to really grill you about everything.
Right.
Which the game feels, at that point I felt like I was really being set up choice-wise. I was like, okay, this is something about whether or not I lie to him. This is going to determine something in the future.
Right.
And
Does it?
No. He doesn't come back later. He doesn't give you an item. He doesn't. But however mad you make Herschel, however much you lie to him, has no consequences whatsoever.
But it does totally feel like it's.
It feels like it does.
I mean, it creates that illusion
because it's very picky about what the truth is, and even if you try to just say, like, most of the time I tried not to lie, but I also had no problem going like, I don't know. Going that line. So He would call you on that. He would call you on vagueness. So it felt like it was really analyzing your decision and setting it up in the beginning.
Well, I'm looking at the big flow chart that you sent me that shows all the different choices and what they do. And you're right. It's lie to Herschel, and then it's just yes, no is the same line.
Yep, just keeps going down.
The next one up is save Duck or Sean.
Because that's when you meet Herschel's son, Sean, and then you meet Kenny, Kenny's Russian wife, I can't remember her name, Katya.
Yes, that's right.
Katya and Duck. And I assume Duck he's mentally handicapped in some way.
Duck is special.
And it's not severe. He just looks like he just has some sort of a learning disability.
Right.
But him, Herschel, Sean, the two other guys, and so they're working on a fence, and a zombie's coming through the fence where they run the lawnmower into the fence into a zombie, and then you have the choice of that zombie's going to get either Sean or Duck.
Yeah, isn't there like farm machinery involved? Like one of them's going to get like horrifically killed.
One is getting sucked into that, and one is getting sucked
the other one's
going to
get killed by the zombie. Yeah, and I don't remember. Well, whichever one was going to get killed by the zombie I chose. I can't remember if that was Duck or if it was Sean. I think it was Sean.
Yeah.
And I did that because I thought it would make a difference. I felt really bad because I wanted to save Duck because he's a kid. But I looked at it this way. Whoever was going to get killed by the machinery, I wasn't sure if they were going to return as a zombie. But I figured whoever was killed by the zombie would definitely come back as a zombie.
That's a good way to
So
look
I
at it.
kind of weighed it that way. And chose to save the person who was being attacked by the zombie.
See, I the other way because I was like, I feel like Herschel is being straight up. I want to help. I wanted Herschel to be my ally, so I feel like I should help. I don't know this Kenny guy
Sean's
and his family.
His kid, so yeah.
So I think I tried to help out Sean, which turns out lose your choice doesn't matter. No matter what, Sean dies.
Yeah, and Herschel
so then
picks you
the
up.
only impact there is you either gain a point or lose a point with Kenny.
Right.
Because he has, depending on how much he likes you, Kenny's attitude will change and things can change.
You and Kenny are pretty different. You're pretty different. It's kind of, it's similar to a Rick Shane kind of scenario in the comic and on the show because you have common goals, but I think the core of the characters are completely different.
Because, of course, I think Duck, no matter what Duck, I think Duck lives because they were able to pull Duck out. So no matter what, Duck lives and Sean dies.
Right. Sean dies no matter what.
Because I would have hoped that one would have lived and the other would have died, and the game would have been either
Like it's
you're with Kenny or you're with Herschel.
Where like the whole story splits.
Yeah.
You know,
I would have
that
really
would've been-
enjoyed that.
And maybe one day we'll get a game like that. I wish it was The Walking Dead, but it's not. And I'm glad I didn't know that playing it because the illusion that it creates is so compelling that I think knowing this, I would have had a completely different kind of playthrough.
Well, let's see. After you save one of the two, and then Herschel just wants you to leave.
Yeah, he
kicks you
off
out
the farm.
So then basically Kenny fixes the RV, fixes his truck, some kind of transportation, and you can leave. You and Clementine leave with Kenny and his family, and you make it into Atlanta, into the pharmacy.
I think Savannah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Savannah, and yeah, you make it to the pharmacy. There's also a scene,
Coincidentally, is Lee's family's pharmacy.
right? Which I think I remember. I had trouble with the pharmacy. I had trouble navigating it because I thought the layout was a little wonky.
There were like 4 different camera angles. Every
Yeah.
time you turn into an aisle, it would shift in a strange way.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, I got frustrated and thinking, considering this is Lee's family's pharmacy, I would imagine I know where all the fucking rooms are. Like, a little bit of help would be nice because it kind of pulls me out of the illusion a little bit when I'm just, oh yeah, my grandparents own this. And I'm like, just looking around like, I wonder where Band-Aids are. 20 minutes later, found the Band-Aids, guys. They're right over here.
Because then this is where shit gets complicated because the character list explodes at this point.
Right. You meet a whole lot of new people.
Yeah, because you're able to get in. They save you like you're running through Savannah, and then they let you in. I believe it's he's in season 1 of the show. The Asian guy with the hat,
Glenn, yeah.
Glenn. He helps you in.
He's one of my favorite characters. I was really, really glad to see him in the game. I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you.
That's okay. I just had to think of a name. So he and Doug, weird techno guy Doug.
Yeah.
They let you in, and then inside you meet Carly, who is a news reporter.
Right.
Larry and Lily. Larry being your primary antagonist throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, he's pretty crotchety.
And then his sweet daughter Lily, who's very nice but also defensive of her dad, who's just an asshole.
Extremely protective of her father.
And of course Kenny, Katya, and Duck.
The family that you met on Herschel's farm.
And then you and Clementine. And you're having to keep up with all of these characters now and deal with supplies, and now that there are more people, there are more mouths to feed. You need to get medicine, which is locked in the pharmacy no one can get to.
Yeah.
Larry has a heart condition and is about to die.
Needs the medicine.
Yeah. Needs his heart pills.
Yeah. Which you kind of don't want to help him.
You don't want it. Yeah. You just want him to just die,
Yeah.
just to be done.
Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who was sitting there being like, you know what? There are way too many people to worry about for this asshole to be around.
And then, of course, Larry and Kenny get in an argument, and you can decide to side with Larry and tell Kenny to chill out.
Right.
We're more people here. Or you can side with Kenny and get in Larry's face, and then Lily gets upset with you.
From what I understand, doesn't matter.
Yep, it does not.
But what does matter is something comes up where zombies overrun the pharmacy while you're trying to get, I think, the medicine key or something like that. And
Yeah, because there's a whole little mini game of trying to get the pharmacy keys are on Lee's brother's dead body on the other side of the street.
Right.
So you have to figure out a way to like turn on the TVs. Zombies respond to sound, so you have to have Doug fix the remote. So you have to find batteries and fix the remote to turn on the TVs across the street.
Yeah.
So the zombies are attracted to it. So and then you have to get keys and a brick and things like that to get through the door, to get to the body, to get the keys, to get back in.
what'd you feel about that? I mean, I had trouble with it, honestly.
Yeah, it took me a little while. I'm okay. I mean, that's just kind of the point and click. That's
Yeah.
what Telltale does.
Well,
So I wasn't bothered by it.
It very much to me felt like click on stuff until you win.
Yeah.
That
You're
part
not
of the
wrong.
game. The rest of it, not so much. But this particular scene, it really did feel like, well, just click on things until I figured it out.
Yeah, a lot of times it's more choice and action otherwise. Then there's the stealth part of the game that we'll talk about. But yeah, that happens. And then, of course, still zombies manage to get in. And here's the thing. Carly, the news reporter, knows who you are. And she sort of kind of threatens you. I can tell everybody you're a murderer. I know you should be in jail.
Right.
I know who you really are.
Right.
Which that colored me against Carly immediately.
Yeah.
So whenever the zombies, of course, infiltrate like they're secret soldiers. No,
Z-Team
whenever
go.
they overrun the pharmacy and actually manage to get in, that another moment happens
A situation presents itself where Carly is going to die or Doug is going to die.
Which this is what I like about this game. I enjoy the lose-lose situation. I don't like in a lot of their games. It's either there is a clear-cut way to win and succeed, and then there's just the way to lose.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy The Walking Dead in that no matter what here, someone's going to die. So I enjoy, like I said, like I like my superheroes. I like everything I experience in games and fiction and things like that to be gray.
And I like that. I like that as well. I'm surprised that you like that because I know when I was playing this game, I was thinking to myself, because I remember when you were playing LA Noire, you had a problem with that game because you didn't want to fuck up.
Yeah.
And I was worried when I was playing The Walking Dead. I was like, I really enjoy this, but I'm not sure if Tyler's going to like it because there's no way to do the game, quote unquote, perfectly.
Yeah. Well, the problem with LA Noire was that I knew exactly if I got a question right or wrong off the bat.
Yeah.
If I didn't know, and if I could continue to ask questions along my incorrect assumption, it would have been amazing. But you get a question wrong, and the line of questioning just stops.
Disappears. Yeah.
So, I mean, if I could have chased a false trail or went with my own assumption, it would have been fucking great.
But they let you know immediately. That
Yeah,
you fucked
and
up.
then your question, then you can't question them anymore, and you just lose.
Okay.
So that's what.
So
really
it's really
frustrated
a
me.
matter of presentation, really.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I'm glad to hear that because I was really worried when I was playing this game because I really enjoyed it and I was hoping that you would enjoy it, but I was like, I don't know.
Well, the first time between Doug and Carly, I didn't make a decision fast enough, and they both died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you reset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then Jacob and I were talking because I was like, all right, what should we do here? Because, of course, I told him what I thought. I was like, Carly knows who we are, and Carly's threatened us. I say we save Doug. And Jacob was like, well, Doug's really weird. Like, he was afraid, like, I bet Doug might be like a pedophile, and he's going to, like, try to get at Clementine because he's really weird. But then the crux became, everybody saves Carly.
I saved Carly.
Everybody saves Carly. So
Yeah.
then we decided to save Doug because everybody saves Carly.
I saved Carly because she's a woman.
That's fair.
Shrug. I mean, that's why I did it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I can save a man I don't know, or I can save a woman I don't know. I'm gonna save the woman I don't know.
That's totally fair.
But I liked Doug. I hated to see him die, and I also thought, honestly, I kind of thought Carly was probably more valuable than Doug, considering it's a zombie apocalypse and there's not a whole lot of tech out there.
Well, see, I thought Doug would be good because he can fix things like a radio and the walkie-talkie, and so that's why I was pro Doug because he could repair broken technology.
He might also touch Clementine.
But he might also. It's true. Because I remember as soon as you save Doug, he just like looks around and he's like, me? You saved me? No one saves me.
Well, one of the really cool things about this game is at the end of each episode, they break down your choices.
Oh, that is so good.
They tell you
so good.
This line graph appears, and I'm sorry, I believe it's a bar graph, and they show you what you chose, the major decisions that you made, and compare them against everyone else who's played the game, so you'll get an idea. I remember when I saved Carly, just for example, so the episode ends, and you get the screen, and it says you saved Carly, and then the bar appears. 86% of other players saved Carly.
Yeah. That's why Jacob and I were like, yeah, Doug.
Contrarians.
Let's keep this guy alive. But then the next chapter is something I remember you telling me. You didn't want to spoil this game for me at all after you played through it.
Yeah.
But there was one thing you told me about this game that I remembered
don't recall.
because I was like, I'm going to do the opposite of what you did.
Okay.
And that was at the beginning of the next chapter, there is a man with his leg caught in a bear trap.
Right.
And
David.
And you're thinking about cutting it off. And he's like, no, don't cut it off. And you didn't.
I didn't.
And ran
I didn't.
off.
And that's the one decision I really regret in the game.
So I was like, I'm gonna cut that fucker's leg off. And it does not matter at all whether you cut it off or not. He still dies.
Well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
God, I felt so bad leaving that guy. But
That would have been such a cool thing to make him to build him a narrative like you could have saved him, and then that would have been cool. Like
you could have
he could have
saved
been a
him,
main
and he's
character, and or him to have been there or to not have been there.
Right.
So, but neither way. So, but then the next chapter is basically you find
next episode.
You're in, next episode.
They should have called them issues since they're based on the comic.
Well,
it makes it really confusing when you call it an episode, because it's like the whole time I was thinking about how are we going to promote this show? Like, we need to make sure that people don't think we're talking about the television series. So it's difficult to be like The Walking Dead episodes 1 through 6.
Yeah.
We should have just talked about the show.
You guys thought there's a game? Oh, shit.
Wow, that's weird.
But of course, we forgot the whole section. After you run from the pharmacy, you end up at a hotel.
Yeah, with the woman who wants to kill herself.
And you have to go through a scenario of trying to sneak through the motel parking lot to get to her.
Yeah.
To where she just wants to die. And another illusion of choice. It's a cool thing to where you're trying to distract the zombies to get to her.
Yeah. Is that the stealth segment you were talking about earlier? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is really cool. You finally get to her. What did you choose?
I gave her the gun.
I gave her the gun as well. I don't know. What happens if you don't? Let's check this chart. Anything?
She still kills her. She still finds a way to kill herself.
Yeah, she grabs the gun and shoots herself.
So to my when I was playing through it, was like, the world sucks now. If you don't want to be a part of it, then we don't have to stop you. Lady who looks like she's probably drugged out that I don't know. Here, it's fine.
Man, you just Carly knocking her off. Suicidal lady. Forget, you're just creating a male utopia.
Just this tadpog misogyny just bleeding through, just killing everybody. Everybody but Clementine.
Clementine, you're fine until you reach puberty. Then you're over.
Done.
You're over. We're rebuilding this world. Planet Gooter.
But of course, that's when Glenn leaves you at the end of the hotel segment.
Yeah. He leaves you for another player.
Yeah. And then you... after the pharmacy, you just you set up camp in
the motel parking lot.
At the motel parking lot, still having to deal with Larry and things like that. And then Larry finds out who you are, and he threatens you. Yeah, and then there's a whole big thing that tells you to stay away from Lily, because Lily clearly is kind of taking a shine to you.
And you have to figure out how to divvy up food, because you have a small amount of rations. I think you have 4 items of food.
Yeah.
And out of everybody in the camp, you have to assign them one food item. I gave mine to Clementine. That's all I remember.
I gave Clementine to Duck. Doug was on guard, so I gave one to Doug.
Doug Lover.
And then I gave the other to Lily because she was on top of the binoculars looking out. So gave one to Lily.
Do you subscribe to Doug Fancy?
Our Doug Fancy.
A new subreddit.
He had a laser pointer too. Doug.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Damn, I should have saved him. He could have really been a riot at the movies.
Play with some cats. Yeah.
All right. So then what?
Then there's to use a lost term, there are others out there that somebody's been stealing food from your supply to leave to them. Yeah. So they would leave you alone.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
And eventually you find out about it and you take the food, not knowing that this is the peace bargain with these other people. And you take the food, come back, try to find out who's been leaving the food. But of course, since you've taken the food, they don't get their next payoff. So then they storm the motel and it becomes a big shoot off where you're having to kill them and try to save people and get in the RV and get the fuck away.
And I think this is the first time we really see that this game is not a good shooter.
Yeah, because it's difficult.
Yeah, it is tougher than it should be. And I think that's a common criticism, but I think it's a good one. That this game does have small segments where you are in a first person shooting situation and it feels clunky, really.
Because after you manage to shoot everybody and get away, that's when you find the oasis of the house, the farm with the electrified fence that you get to, which I really like this segment a lot.
I did too. Yeah, because you roll up on this farm and they are completely safe, which, in a zombie apocalypse, there's nothing wrong with completely safe.
Because, they have the generator that they use to supply the electric fence. The zombies just touch it, and that's it.
Right. Which they had, they raised cows, right? So their whole property is surrounded by an electric fence. And then one of your first jobs is they send you out to patrol the perimeter for any kind of breaches in the fence. Because if there's a hole in the fence, zombies can get in. And that's when you find an obstruction.
I think like a tree falls over and part of the fence, and then the others are still out there trying to get you. So it's a neat scenario of you're trying to hide behind like part of the tractor and moving the tractor. So if you get a slightly in front of it, then they shoot down, you're dead. Yeah. So then you get to the tree to push the tree out of the way to put the fence back up, and then you can get back. Because the others are still there after the people in the farm, but they haven't raided them yet either. And we're running long, and we're still like halfway through.
Yeah, really long.
So do we want to push through, or do you want to, Davey, make The Walking Dead two episodes?
Well, considering that we're not even into episode 3, and there's 6, and we've got calls to do.
Yep.
And
this has been the most requested episode we could do.
I'm a little worried because, I feel like this episode is super fucking dry.
Well, I mean, it's true. We haven't made a lot of jokes. We're just really talking. We're breaking. It's more like an original Flavor Wednesday where we're breaking down the game.
So let's stop here.
Okay.
Let's do some calls.
Okay.
Have some yucks.
Yep. All right. So this is our Walking Dead part 1.
And then what we'll do is I will think of all kinds of zombie jokes. I may go to Amazon and try to find the 101 Zombie Jokes book, and then next episode when it's really dry, I'll just pick the book up and be like, "What's a zombie's favorite color?" Braids.
It's a
zombie joke. The punchline's always brains.
And there are 100 of these. The book is $25.99. 101.
I wouldn't pay for a paltry 100 joke book. You've always got the one. All right. First call, Tyler. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Hey, guys. It's Tony. I have a answer to your question about dog eye vision, how well dogs see color. So dogs have vision similar to people who have red-green color blindness. So they can't see the colors red and green. They see those both as gray. There's structures in your eyes called rods, which are for sensing light, darkness, and there are structures called cones, which are what differentiate different colors. Most mammals only have 2 different sets of cones. Humans have 3, which gives us the ability to see red and green. Most other mammals only have the ones that allow you to distinguish all of the other colors of the spectrum. They don't have the red to green cones in their vision. So that's your answer about dog color vision. I had a question as well. I guess this is kind of similar to the question I asked previously about D&D alignment, which is if you guys were planeswalkers from Magic the Gathering, what color of deck would you use in battle? Or if you guys want to twist it up a little bit, you could pick the color deck that you think your companion would be using to fight his battle as a planeswalker. All right, guys, thanks, and I'll be listening.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, Impresario Tony. Yeah.
We're actually, I feel like we should say something. We're actually listening to the calls live as we do the show. Thanks to Baron, Grand Baron.
Grand Prosecutor.
Oh, that's
Gilday.
right.
He's been upgraded from Prosecutor to Grand Prosecutor.
That's right. Who sent us a headphone amp, so we can actually now, with thanks to Tyler who picked up some cables, we can actually listen to the calls now as we do the show. So you can hear our live responses to them. I want to pick yours. I want you to pick mine.
Okay.
Oh, you want to do it the other way around?
No, go ahead. Go. You tell me what we'll pick each other's, and then what we think our own would be.
Okay. I think, Tyler, you're a heavy blue deck. I think you're a heavy blue deck. Just, I know that you like to influence, and you like to make things happen the way You want them to
Like
have.
Sean Miller says, I am the puppet master.
You are. I wouldn't say. I mean, he makes the comparison that you are Pycelle.
he makes me sound terrible.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think you're a bad guy. I think Pycelle's a bad guy.
Yeah.
I think Pycelle he abuses a lot of the power that he has. And I don't think you're one to abuse power. But I do think that you like to control situations, particularly social situations. That's why I think you would be a heavy blue deck. Because blue is all about controlling the battlefield and allowing things to happen or denying opponents to attack.
Blue was my thinking. I would have said a hybrid blue white.
Why white?
Because I think I'd also like to support
Angels.
and give to people and angels. Because angels.
Because you don't want to be Pycelle.
Right. Because angels and control. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep. He's upset about something.
I hate this episode. Please don't cut that.
I'm not. For you,
So I hope everyone enjoys it because I'm not.
you wanted it. We ruined it.
We took a game that I used to love, and now through the analysis, I'm not sure that it's as great as I thought it was. So there's that.
All right. So for you, I think I would say a hybrid black and white.
Okay.
Because I know you're big on mutual respect. So I know basically like you respect someone and you love that person or you don't like that person at all. So
Yeah, that's true.
I see handing out black and white being favor and dislike in equal measures depending on how you feel.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I thought I was leaning more black-green, honestly, just because I like creatures.
Sure, you like animals.
And green is very creature.
Like green, somebody who's like an athlete, I would probably assign green to. That's what I think of green as.
Oh, really?
Like creatures, like more and more like body and physical and things like that.
Well, I mean, because, they have a lot of powerful creatures
Yeah.
in there. But as the planeswalker, the creature's just helping you.
It's
You're
true.
not the creature.
It's true.
And black just because, fucking devils and shit. I'm into that.
Zombies, vampires, devils. Yeah, it's fine.
Thanks for calling. We got some more calls. I really like the question. Actually, I think we should have a science segment, a weekly science segment.
Yeah, with Impresario Tony.
Yes, exactly.
We'll have to rename him. Chemist Tony.
Chemist Tony. We got a call from our buddy St. Zach. He left us 2 calls, and I didn't get a text message this time saying that I can't play them.
All right.
So here we go. We're playing them.
St. Zach here, and Dave, it's not that I didn't want to talk to you, it was that I knew the contents of my message would be misconstrued later in life. And I don't want to put that on the future generations of the Americas, or whoever is listening to this podcast.
No one anymore.
Not in America.
Here, going through some nostalgia, and I was watching The Faculty, and in the transition scene, I was hearing a tune, the music in the background. I couldn't really place it, but just now it hit me, and I had to look up when the album came out. But for any of the listeners out there who listen to Eve 6, there's a song named Sunset Strip Bitch on the album of Horoscope, which came out in July 2000. I believe it was the 25th, if memory serves correct.
Eve 6
But
cast.
The Faculty, which came out in 1998, has the exact same tune as Sunset Strip Bitch. So if anybody would like to disprove me or tell me I'm wrong, I would love for you to do so, because otherwise I'm just an insane man talking on the phone to a podcast. You guys have a wonderful day, and may Lord bless.
Zach just looking for a weird fight. I'm pretty sure this is it. If you think I'm wrong, motherfuckers, step up.
If anyone knows what these 2 things are, which I don't. I've
Leave-
never seen The Faculty, and I don't know what
I saw the faculty.
is.
I saw the faculty in theaters,
Yeah.
and Eve
It's-
6 is that group that did that song like "I would choke on the rind, the lack thereof would leave me empty inside."
No, I don't know.
Turn it out, a song like a flash in the pan group from the 90s.
Oh, okay.
But I saw the faculty in theaters, and I liked it at the time.
Do you know the song he's referring
Nope.
to? Okay, so you can't really comment on whether or not you feel like it's the same tune.
Yeah, I just remember Josh Hartnell chopping off half of Jon Stewart's hand. So
Jon Stewart's in the movie.
he plays an administrator.
Oh, is the movie any good? Should I watch it?
It's okay because it's an alien invades a high school, starts taking over students kind of movie.
So it'd make a better anime.
Yep, it would make a better anime.
Is that called again?
All right.
I really hope it's.
It's more Eve 6.
Yes.
I found out I was wrong.
Right. I hope he finds out that he's right. Let's see. Let's see where we go.
Hello, TADPOG.
Here we go.
St. Zach here. I feel like I was called out on the last episode of Other Shit Monday.
And
so
this one.
I must tell you how much I appreciate your podcast. I listen to it at work, and it's been mentioned before that I work on helicopters. I am almost exclusively out on the flight line where people are taking off and landing constantly. So while I'm doing work, there's no way in 4 seconds that I can explain what I do. So let's just say I turn wrenches and bust my knuckles. I keep you in my shoulder pocket and listen to Dave and Tyler ramble on about all the things that I know and love, and the references just flow forth from their mouths, and it makes me happy while I do what I do. The problem is these helicopters taking off and landing, and every time I pause the podcast, because of these fucking helicopters, especially the Kiowas, which are nothing more than annoying weed eaters, I think to myself, if only I had a rocket launcher, that asshole would be gone. And I could continue on listening to my friends do the most amazing thing that I have ever heard in my lifetime. So, with that being said, I have plans drawn up for a small EMP device that will destroy these little fucks and allow me to listen to TADPOG while I do my work. And hopefully with the strength of cord, I will be able to do so in the near future. But anyway, as always, Halo bless.
But I worry that will the EMP not disable Zach's ability to also listen to the podcast?
I guess, if he can aim it, right?
Okay.
I want to say something. I think that we do a pretty good show. Not this episode, but most of the time I think...
If you were to add them all together and take the average.
I think it's a little... Yeah, I think it's just a little above average. But it still doesn't compare to the miracle of flight. I think that a helicopter being able to fly is probably a little bit more.
Well, somebody's just throwing around weed eaters, apparently. Zach hates it.
It's a helicopter that exclusively drops weed eaters.
And they just buzz him dropping weed eaters. And he's just, I just listen to TADPOG. Thank you, Saint Zach.
Yes, thank you for continuing to listen, and we hope to hear from you again, and not law enforcement. Got another call.
Hey, TADPOG, this is Paul Korn again. Just thought I'd come in with a question.
Nice.
What stupid video game trick do you think you would like to have? We've all seen the YouTube videos of speed runs or people playing it blindfolded, or the guy that plays both players on Ikaruga, with all that kind of stuff. So I was just wondering what magical ability would you put on there just to impress other video gamers? Myself, I would want to be able to actually dance on Dance Dance Revolution. I play that pretty regularly, but you can't really call that dancing. I remember I went to a convention a few months ago, and there was a guy that he was playing across both the pads on Pump It Up, and he was literally breakdancing. He was, spinning around and getting down on his hands and kicking around and stuff, and actually hitting all the arrows that he needed to hit. He literally could have saved the rec center with those moves. So that would be my pick, and I just wanted to hear what you guys would say. So keep up the good work. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, I love Pump It Up.
I know you do.
I don't care for DDR, but God, I love Pump It Up. Whenever they had it in our local movie theater, my friends would go see Lord of the Rings, and I would just sit outside and I would play Pump It Up for 3 hours straight. Loved Pump It Up. I understand exactly what he's talking about wanting that ability.
So do you share that desire? Is that what you would choose?
I picked up one girl once with my Pump It Up skills, and I feel like I'm good. It's not going to do me any good now.
Was that Meg?
That was not Meg.
You didn't pull her with your pump it up skills?
Yeah, it's like this shit. Me doing some Oh Rosa. Yeah. I made Jacob York smile just now because that's his favorite level. But to impress other gamers, I guess it would be to be able to play a game like you see in game demos at like E3. Because the E3 demo of someone playing BioShock was fucking unbelievable. And I can't do anything remotely like that. So play it like the game you can fully play it using every trick and skill and maneuverability. That's what I want.
Okay. I want to be
I want
able...
show demo skills. That's what we'll call it.
Show demo. Mutant ability. Show demo. I want to be able to beat the House of the Dead playing with both guns at the same time. That's real.
Okay.
I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, a long time
ago. Where I plan on going into that pizza place and dressed as Deadpool and beating the House of the Dead.
That was Bomberman 2.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I want to go in, dress as Deadpool, and put in 2 quarters and beat the game with both guns. I don't think I'm going to impress any gamers because they're not going to fucking be there. But the 9-year-old who's having a birthday party, they're really
all his friends going to get a piece of cake.
They're really
going to be impressed.
Thanks for calling, Archivist Corn.
Yeah.
Good question. Someone else called this time.
All right.
Greetings, TADPOG. I'm so excited to hear you're going to do The Walking Dead. I really enjoyed it, and I'm eager to hear your thoughts on it. I played the game several times to experience different situations, with and without different characters, and I just thought the choices consistently made the game fun. It reminded me of Choose Your Own Adventure stories, which I just loved as a kid. If I had more time, I would make you a full gauntlet of questions, but instead, I'll just ask you about a few of the choices you made. So here goes. Did you drop Ben or pull him up? Did you cut off your own arm? You can only do that if Krista and Kenny aren't with Lee. But did you cut off your own arm? And finally, this is a big one, did you ask Clem to shoot you? Anyway, I will say that I played all those choices different ways. They were all entertaining. But that's all I got. I look forward to hearing what you did and what you think. Thanks for the great work.
That was Josh Edwards. He didn't introduce himself, but that is my friend Josh Edwards. Have not heard from him since Madden 94.
Right. Where he left a great call on that. He probably should have done that show.
Yeah. Yeah.
He probably should have done this show.
He and Dennis should have just done this show.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, do we want to answer these now? Because we're going to get up to them and...
It's up to you. What do you think?
I guess we can answer them quickly.
Okay.
So he knows, and then we'll break them down next episode.
All right, that sounds good. What was the first one?
Did you drop Ben or not?
Yes.
Yep. Did you cut off your own arm?
Yes.
Krista cut off my arm.
Oh, really? Okay.
And did you make Clem shoot you or not?
Yes.
No.
Okay. We'll get it. I want to go into it now.
That's
Cliffhanger for next episode.
Yep. Our reasoning behind all those choices. Thank you, Josh Edwards.
Yes, thanks for calling.
Any other calls?
That's it.
That's it. No one.
You want to do beards and glasses for episodes 1 and 2?
No, I'll save it for next episode.
All right.
I've got them, but I'll save them.
We got people to thank?
We do. So for Facebook shares, Marquess Nicole, Marquis Kevin Link, Troubadours Megalixir, Lord Micah Purdue, Lord Dennis Robinson. For tweets, Lord Dennis, Archivist Corn, Impresario Tony, and Baron Drew Rowland.
Thank you.
5-star reviews.
What?
Yeah, we had one from Danny from Kentucky.
Okay.
That's my sister-in-law. She doesn't.
She's
just being nice.
I was gonna pretend.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna pretend.
Okay.
I'm not gonna pretend.
All right.
I'll whore out my family and be like, just get. It's fine. It's fine. She's so my sister-in-law hearing all my Gooter stories was pretty because my brother's laughing his ass off and she just looks horrified. And then we got a review on Stitcher from John Turley.
Yeah, thanks,
We
John.
assume it's a good one. We don't know.
We haven't checked. Yeah. We don't know. We know you're good for it, John. Thanks.
So kind words. Kind words from John Turley. We got them from Phil Duvall of Second Breakfast.
Oh, good.
Baron Paul Kluhl gave some he very much enjoyed our Bust Move episode. He described it as epic.
Good.
So I'm sorry we let you down with this one.
Yeah, sorry about that.
This mundane episode. But if you are a big Walking Dead fan, you might enjoy this episode.
I doubt it. Because we're so negative about it.
Well, no, we're clear that we enjoyed it, but we're not going to pretend like we're not going to pretend Santa Claus is real here.
Oh,
we're gonna
come on, Tyler.
Spoilers.
I don't know. I feel bad. I feel like I've betrayed The Walking Dead because I really did like this game a lot. I think it was the best game that came out in 2012. But now, like, I just hear myself talking about it. I'm like, why am I being so mean to this game?
Now you know how I feel every episode of TADPOG. And Grand Prosecutor Gilday for his fine gift that is helping us. And it's been very, very helpful.
Yes, thank you very much.
You want to give out a coin?
I feel like we have to. Yeah. We got to give away something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to? You want to do iTunes reviews?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody. Let's open it up to anybody that left an iTunes review, not just a 5-star one.
Okay. So
They're all 5-star except one guy.
Yeah. Thanks, Bower Mill. We know you're not listening.
He could get this coin and he's never going to get it because he's not listening anymore.
All right. Let's see. Let's see how we're doing here. Well, we have all these honest 5-star reviews that, 1 3-star.
That's true.
Isn't going to make a whole lot of difference. I believe it's an honest 3-star. So
Yeah. He had a point. And that's why he would just be in for Wednesdays. He wouldn't listen to Monday's episode. He wouldn't even hear this episode where we give him a coin.
all right, let's see. Right now we've got 48 reviews, actual reviews. So let's randomly generate here. How many did I say? 42?
48.
So 42.
The answer to the universe is 42. We're
That's
talking
right,
about
that's
48.
right. All right. 1 through 48, generate 41.
Okay.
So you talk for a long time while I count 41.
Well, I'll talk about if you're not comfortable calling us, you can always send us an email. That's true. We also got an email question I need to read. So we have send us an email. We'll read your question and answer it. If you're not comfortable calling in,
Where can they email
people. They can email us either at tyler@tadpog.com or dave@tadpog.com. We have like Grand Prosecutor Gilday bought this the mic off of we have an Amazon wish list for TADPOG that has equipment and games. So if you ever want to support us, make the podcast better, if there's a game that you want us to play and review, that's on Amazon. And just so you know, I think we've talked about it before, any money we make off this podcast goes directly back into the podcast to make it better. I guess once we have a perfect podcast, then
we'll start buying.
line our pockets.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it all goes back in. So you can do our Amazon promotion. We'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah. If you've got anything last minute Christmas or anything like that you're planning on buying anyway on Amazon, you might as well go to the show notes and click the link and buy it there, because then the price is still the same for you, and we just get like a 2% kickback. So,
And that'll pay for our hosting and any more equipment and upgrades equipment. So.
yeah, we'd really appreciate it. If you don't want to, I understand.
Yeah, it's 2 more clicks, and you're a busy person. We get it.
We get it.
We understand.
But if you love the show and want us to keep doing it, then this is one really good way to give us some encouragement.
Yeah. Okay.
To make more awful Walking Dead episodes.
We'll have another one next week.
I'm going to be ready with the jokes, though. I'm going to get the joke book.
Right.
We're going to be good. All right. 42 is Joe from New York,
All right.
who gave us a 5-star review saying, loving it. I think that's a Megalixir.
I believe it is too.
So Megalixir gets a coin.
Yep.
Hey, but you got to tell us where to ship it.
Or you can come get it. Whatever you want to do.
No one's given us our address. Or their address, I should say. We know our address.
We keep trying to give stuff away. No one's given us
their address. Because we've got the Goosebumps book. Mm-hmm. I've got it sitting on my shelf. Tyler
Ready
gave
to
it to
go.
me the other day. It actually already had fan fiction written in it.
Yeah, I had forgotten.
It really did.
And at church, like some of my friends, we'd all written in the covers and made like jokes and shit. So there's already stuff in it for you to read.
It's pretty good. So
it might be like your own personal copy of the potion books and Half-Blood Prince, to where we've just filled in the margins with all these special secrets, special Tadpog secrets.
Who won that? Paul Korn won that, didn't he? Archivist Korn?
Yes.
Yeah. So give us your address.
Come on, dog. Give us your address.
We'll get this to you. We probably won't send you anything else. And Joe, let us know what you want to do about this coin. One way or another, we'll get it to you.
Yeah. If you're listening, you might just make music and send it to us. We don't know that you listen.
Yeah, we hope that you do.
That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes or Stitcher, so don't miss the next episode. We'll be talking about IGN.
The Walking Dead.
Well, not next episode. That'll be the next episode.
The next episode, we'll be talking about Breath of Fire 2.
Mm-hmm. I forget, 54?
I think it's 53rd rank.
53rd.
Yeah,
Breath of Fire.
Don't hold me to that.
While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Give the show a 5-star rating. Write a review.
Honest 5-star rating.
Honest 5-star
No
review.
bribery.
No bribery at all whatsoever.
Don't worry, guys.
Okay. Dave, I'm worried.
Don't worry, guys. We will be back, like Tyler said. In the meantime, if you need more TADPOG, that can easily be found at tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. That's where we'll put an Amazon link. You can also find us on facebook.com/tadpog. A lot of cool stuff being talked about there with a lot of really awesome listeners. Thank you for everybody who participates on there. You can follow us on Twitter if you want at TADPOG_podcast. It is cumbersome, but, well, we got to deal with it.
Yeah, whoever owns fucking TADPOG.
Fucking TADPOG. I didn't try that. I didn't
There
try
you
at
go.
fucking TADPOG. You can also, if you want to be one of the really cool people who calls us and leaves us a voicemail, you can do that. You can reach fucking TADPOG hotline at 270-883-2555. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
Our intro song?
Oh, you know what?
What?
I almost forgot. I mentioned it and almost forgot about it again.
Oh, the email.
We had one more question. Let me read this off
get
real
it right
quick.
at the cutoff.
Yeah. All right, so I've got to do my best Lord Mike impression.
Oh, right. Okay.
Hello, gentlemen.
It's pretty good.
This week's Would You Rather.
Lord Mike, are you here with us today?
This week's Would You Rather brought to you by Sun Tea. Because Sun Tea, it's science for your aunt. Question this week, gentlemen. In a zombie apocalypse,
Oh, no.
would you rather take the fight to the zombies or hide and survive as long as possible? Myself, I would find an aircraft, only pick up the Tadpog Nation and some hookers. And we could anchor off some port of Metros and live forever since we already have a lordship established.
Okay. I think that's a good answer. What is your answer, Tyler?
It's similar to Lord Mike's. I wouldn't fight the zombies. I probably just wouldn't also keep like running away. I would probably try to build a perfect fortification. I would just go all defenses and try to build a community and
Become the
defend
governor?
ourselves. Yeah.
I think for me, it depends on who lives. I mean,
Well, Doug.
who lives? Well, if Doug's around, I completely.
fine.
That's fine. Yeah, we're good. But I think it depends on how many of my friends live. Because if not a lot of my friends live, then there's no law. There's no law in a zombie apocalypse. So I would probably go all Mad Max style, and I would try to team up with John Turley.
Befriend a master poisoner and then just walk around in caves just stabbing and poisoning people.
I didn't say I'd become a murderer.
Real life Tokiabi. It's
I
fine.
didn't say I'd become a murderer. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't have an allegiance to anyone, but me and a select few.
Okay.
Black white deck.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
That is really it.
Our theme song, Tyler. Our intro is by a gentleman named Sycamore Drive.
Yes.
Which I was taking photographs of the two arcade cabinets because I'm thinking about trying to trade one for a Miss Pac-Man. The back of the Street Fighter 2, which is actually in an Atari cabinet, has an address on the back of it. And it's like 2967 Sycamore Drive. So
Crazy.
I think I know where this guy got his name.
This is like a J.J. Abrams movie.
I know.
We're about to-
I know, it totally clicked. I had a moment where it's like I called Nikki over, like, look at the back of this. Look, Sycamore Drive. Put it all together. The name of that song is Moves, and that can be found in the show notes at tadpog.com. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you.
Until then, Tropical Capricorn.
And we're sorry.
And we're very sorry.
Tender heart in a blender. Watch it spin round to a beautiful oblivion.
Oh, that's them?
Rendezvous and I'm through with. Yeah,
That's Eve 6? Okay. I know that song.
Yeah.